So we have more Superman Golden Age dailies, and this is the Mischievous Mr. Mxyzptlx, Part 7 and the conclusion. I don't get it, Ted Spence. The woman you love has vamped Superman to marrying her, and you stand there and laugh because she runs her fingers through his hair. It's so ludicrous, the great Superman, having his hair tousled by any woman, even Miss Dreamface. I'll thank you to take your boorish laughter out of here. No, wait. Ted's right, and I'm glad he laughed at me. You mean... I mean I've come to my senses. I'm remaining a bachelor. But you practically promised to marry me. I'm sorry, Miss Dreamface. I didn't quite promise. I, like many another man, fell under the powerful spell of your beauty in spite of my super resistance. It took Ted's laughter to break that spell and make me realize that my mission in life rules out marriage, at least for the present. I hate you, Superman. And you too, Ted Spence. I hate you both. I won't stay in the same room with either of you. She seems mad. I hope she doesn't do anything rash. Miss Dreamface is getting into her car, and she looks pretty mad. I hope she's all right. First, that outer-dimensional imp makes me mad. Then Ted Spence. Then Superman. Refuse to marry me? Will he? Speed. That's what I want. Speed. To make me forget my humiliation. And atop a nearby telephone pole sits Mr. Mxyzptlx. Something tells me that our proud beauty will be sorry she turned me down when she attempts to use her brakes. Miss Dreamface drove off at quite a clip, Superman. I'm worried about her. Nothing to worry about, Ted, but we'll follow her if you like. Flying? May I go along with you, Superman? Sorry, Agatha, but we've got to travel light. Is he calling her heavy? Darn it. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd have his arms around me. There's Miss Dreamface's car now, and she's going pretty fast at that. Meanwhile, back in the city, imagine the crust of that babe, playing fast and loose with the affections of Mr. Mxyzptlx. Maybe she'll regret it when she discovers I tampered with her brakes. She'll smash the front end of that snazzy roadster on a fire plug or something, and, great Scott, I hope nothing worse than that happens to her. Speed, that's what I want, yet I'll have to use the brakes to manage that turn ahead. The brakes, something's happened to them, and I can't make the turn at this speed. Superman, look, Miss Dreamface is going over. You've got to save her. With you to carry, I'd never reach her in time. Then drop me. Her life is much more important than mine. Drop you? You're a brave man, Ted, but I don't think I can bring myself to do it. Help! Miss Dreamface's car, having been tampered with by Mr. Mxyzptlx, cannot negotiate the curve, and help! Drop me, Superman. You may be able to reach her in time if you do, and her life is worth more than mine. Only to you, I'm afraid, Ted. Then let the choice be mine. Please, drop me. I can make it more complicated than that. Instead of simply dropping you, I can throw you much higher in the air. I asked Superman to drop me so he could rescue Miss Dreamface, and instead he's thrown me higher into the air. Well, I suppose my death will be more merciful if I fall from a greater height. Meanwhile, now if I can reach that hurtling car in time. I'm too late. I can't make it. I'm too late. And as the sickening crash echoes through the hills, flames and Miss Dreamface is still in the wreckage. Not much can be done for her, I'm afraid, but with one mighty blast of his lungs, Superman extinguishes the hungry blaze. And now, Ted, if there's still time to halt his downward plunge. I've failed. A new experience for me and the end of the trail for Miss Dreamface in that wreck. If I'd dropped Ted when he first asked me, I could have reached the hurtling car in time. Then instead of dropping him, I hurled him higher into the air, hoping to get back to him in time. But now all I'll find of him will be his poor crushed body on the rocky ground. These clouds make visibility difficult. It'll be hard to locate poor Ted's body on the ground below. But suddenly, from another cloud, Superman! Ted, fancy meeting you here. I must have thrown you higher than I imagined, thank heaven. But Miss Dreamface, you reached her hurtling car before it crashed. I'm sorry, Ted, but I was too late. I'm afraid she's... Take me to her, please. It was a pretty bad wreck, Ted, and she's in it. It's horrible. We'll have to get rid of this twisted metal to reach her, and that calls for super strength. And moments later, she's hurt badly, Superman, but she's still alive. Do you hear me? Miss Dreamface is still alive. With just a chance in a million that she'll recover, that means we must get her to a hospital without a moment's delay. Once the most beautiful woman in the world, and now Miss Dreamface is badly injured, Superman. She hasn't a chance unless we can get her to a hospital at once, and that calls for Super Speed Plus. Moments later, Metropolis Hospital. Sorry to drop in so unconventionally, but this is an emergency case. But we were just about to operate on this gentleman. That's all right. I was only going to have my tonsils out, and I'd just as soon postpone it. She's in bad shape. Needs a blood transfusion at once. Then it's my right to give it. Let's go. I hope your blood is the proper type. Shortly after, while Ted is in the operating room, Mr. Mxyzptlx. I saw you bring Miss Dreamface here. I followed. You know, that mischief's always been my line, not murder. I never thought such an awful thing would ensue when I tampered with the brakes on her car. So you're responsible, you fiendish imp. I've a mind to smack you back into the outer dimensional world you came from. So, you tampered with the brakes on Miss Dreamface's car. You're responsible for the accident, which may cause her death. I shouldn't have doed it. Well, Mr. Mxyzptlx, I'm going to knock you back to your outlandish world. Or outlandish outer dimensional world. Superman, wait. Ted, you must be feeling weak after giving Miss Dreamface that blood transfusion. Yes, I am feeling a bit weak, but not too weak for this. And he smacks Mr. Mxyzptlx. I hit that outlandish creature, that Mr. Mxyzptlx, and he's disappeared completely. So he has. He was from another outer dimensional world, and no doubt your mortal fist shattered the slender thread of psychic balance which allowed him to remain on Earth. And good riddance. But Ted, what about Miss Dreamface? The result of the operation, I don't know. We'll soon find out. Here's the doctor. Only your fantastic speed in getting her here, Superman, is responsible for her being alive. I'm thankful for that. Then she'll live, Doctor? Yes, she'll live, but I'm afraid Miss Dreamface's name has become a mockery. You mean? We were forced to resort to considerable plastic surgery, but she'll live. She'll live, but she will no longer be the most beautiful woman in the world. Is that what you mean, Doctor? I'm afraid that's it, Ted. Hooray! Hooray, yippee! Great Scott, what ails that young man? You see, Doctor, Ted is in love with Miss Dreamface. Undoubtedly, the accident which marred her beauty has affected his mind. Perhaps I'd better give him something to quiet him. Stop whispering, you two. I'm not crazy. I'm just happy because her beauty is spoiled. I must say, it's in rather poor taste, too. Taste be hanged. Now I can ask her to marry me. Ted, you're a grand guy. I'm not sure I agree. Can I see Miss Dreamface now, Doctor? I'll see if she's out of the anesthetic, Ted. The doctor says they've had to use plastic surgery on her face. You know what that means. And I don't care. I've loved her all my life, and not just because of her beauty. Now that she's had this terrible accident, well, it just makes me love her all the more. You can come in now, Ted, for just a few minutes. Is she? Yes, Miss Dreamface is quite conscious. Darling, Ted. Before you say anything, I want you to marry me, and I won't take no for an answer. But Ted, the accident, my face. I said I wouldn't take no for an answer. And with a little super help, you won't have to. That's right. Bring a license along. This is somewhat irregular. And shortly afterward, unusual to be sure, but after your explanation, I was happy to accompany you. As a matter of fact, it's rather enjoyable. And so, in Metropolis Hospital, Ted Spence and the injured Miss Dreamface become man and wife. Okay, that's quite an ending. And in the editorial offices of the Daily Planet, copyboy and cub reporter Jimmy Olsen snoozes between editions, unaware that he is on the threshold of an incredible adventure which will take him and his idol Superman halfway across the world, but unfortunately, I will not be doing that story anytime soon.